Michelle Obama, Auntie Michelle, come to the front, come to the front. Michelle Obama tells white people to get the hell out of our hair, and some white people lose their God-forsaken minds. You know what? This level of pettiness, rooted in authenticity, ring-fenced by truth, and barbed wired with I don't give a rat's ass, is the pettiness I live for. People, and it's not so much what she said, but it is how she said it that really pisses them off. I love it.
Worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act?
Exactly.
An act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair. Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
Auntie Michelle has jokes. We love to see it. But where is the lie? Where is the freaking lie? Tell me. She's absolutely spot on. Don't tell us how to wear our hair. Don't touch our freaking hair. And enough with your goddamn curiosity about our hair when you've lived side by side with us for centuries. They don't like Auntie Michelle spoke the truth, the sassiness with which she spoke the truth, and the uppityness with which she delivered it. These white people will have you believe that no, this isn't true. It's bullshit. Because if white people were not so in our hair, why are black people and why have black people been fired from jobs for having ethnically styled hair? Why is it that black people are not offered jobs because of their ethnically styled hair? All in the name of it doesn't meet our professional white standards. Why is it that our black children are kicked out of school in the US and in the United Kingdom for wearing ethnically styled hair like dreads, cornrow, and braids? It is because white people want to control how we look, what we say, and how we express ourselves. They think that any form of expression is a form of protest. It is a form of protest because we demand to be us in the beauty and brilliance of our black identity. Can you remember when I said this during my TEDx talk?
Everything seems to be for grabs. Everything about us seems to be called for judgment. Even our hair. You get it's not very professional. Or you get it's not very tidy. Or get this one. It's just too versatile. You change your hair too much. Are you paying for it?
I see some of you racist dumbasses and racial gatekeeping fools are abusing Auntie Michelle, claiming she's faking victimhood and lying about white supremacy standards on black hair, all on the basis that she was black first lady. Come closer so I can slap some sense into your head. The only reason Michelle Obama is the first black first lady and her husband Barack Obama is the first black president is because of white supremacy. The United States has existed for 249 years, but it took till 2009 for there to be a black president. And we've all seen what white America has done since its first black president. It went MAGA. Let me just explain something to you. The existence of black accomplishment, black success, black growth is not evidence that racism does not exist. It's not evidence that white supremacy does not exist. It is evidence of black resilience, black strength, and black excellence in spite of the racism. Because no matter what you throw at us, we shall overcome.
Michelle Obama said it so eloquently. If we struggle to make it look like the standards, we're then basically going to be spending thousands of dollars and hours of time spent. And literally when I heard that, I had to pause because damn, she is so right. Because think about it. How many of us have been using protective hairstyles as more than just protecting our hair? If you haven't seen it, Michelle Obama had an interview recently with People magazine. And one thing she mentioned was talking about her hair. And she said basically she didn't wear braids because she essentially didn't think the country was ready for it. In other words, she essentially was like, she didn't want her hair to be a distraction, which is crazy to think, but so true. It's crazy to think the First Lady of the United States, one of the most educated and influential women in the world, still had to think twice about how her hair would be perceived. That's essentially the world we live in, where our natural beauty as Black women has to be managed. Our curls have to be controlled, I guess you could say. And it's crazy, but our style, if you will, have to be approved before they can be accepted. But the truth is, our hair is not actually the problem. It's the pressure that society has placed on it. And as a girly who wore protective styles most of her life until like 6 months ago, protective styles were not just for protecting our hair. It was also about protecting our energy, our time, our peace. Braids, twists, locks, you name it. That's care, that's culture, that's creativity that a lot of other cultures do try to steal, I might add. So when we actually do show up the way that we like our hair to be, whatever look that might be for you, it's not rebellion. It's literally a feeling of being free. It's the freedom of fitting in, because we know what comes sometimes with how our hair is perceived. So depending on how confident we are as women in certain situations determines if we care or not to fit in. Protecting your peace is far more important than fitting in.
Good morning, guys. Good evening and good afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. So I'm just watching this trending video about Michelle Obama. She made such a powerful speech, and there's a very bold message that she gave out, and I believe it didn't sit right with some white people, right? Because she spoke it as it is. She was talking about the Black beauty. She spoke about Black beauty coming from a woman of high value such as Michelle Obama. This is a must listen, a must see, a must everything for this video. You know, this is a video that is going to encourage you as a Black woman and as a Black man, and also white people can learn from it as well. Let's watch it.
Have you ever been loud and wrong? Baby, let me tell you that the Threads conversation that happened just the other day, homegirl was misinformed, but we're going to go ahead and get into that. She was talking about hair, texturism, and Michelle Obama. Let's have a conversation. But first, hey, sunshine, I'm Dr. Donna Oriel, a sex and relationship therapist in the Washington, D.C. metro area. And in case you didn't know, not new here, true here, been living here. I wrote a dissertation in 2016, specifically on texturism and its impact on sexual self-efficacy. That's sexual self-esteem. And we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of a conversation about that. So let's get into it. So in case you didn't know, colorism and texturism still be running the show. So I wanted to start with the comment that actually started the conversation, and it's here. Feel free to pause to read. Now, the words that got me messed up was newsflash, right? Because that word right there is already, say it with me, disrespectful. Right? She was already starting off with a disrespectful air, trying to remove Michelle Obama's experience in favor of her own. Now, she is a curly natural, so I'm not saying that she's not part of the conversation. She is, but she erroneously has been censored in the conversation, and I'm going to go ahead and correct right now, because what we not going to do is pretend that colorism and texturism have not been an integral part in being able to say who gets to have expressed self-esteem, and specifically who gets to talk about their experience. So when it comes right down to it, for those of you who don't know, I am the author of Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem. And in chapter 4, I talk about what we not going to do. And what we not going to do right here, right now, is pretend like colorism and texturism don't impact self-esteem. That it doesn't impact how we get to interact with other people outside, and that it didn't play a role in this here conversation. Now, here is the thing. Some girls get expressed self-esteem. And when I say express self-esteem, what I mean is they get to express that they have self-esteem. They get to act, if nothing else, like they are indeed the shit. And those girls are usually light-skinned girls with the so-called good hair, right? With the 3 C's, which happens to be what this poster is. Now, within that, the problem is that it's very easy then to be disrespectful of other people's experiences because you get censored in conversations, particularly around colorism and texturism, because still there's a coddling that goes on for our lighter skinned folk because we are also used to coddling white folk. Now, here is the thing with that. She gets to be disrespectful and dismissive of Michelle Obama, who is darker, who has kinkier hair and completely remove her experience and the longevity of the life that she's lived because it doesn't fit with her current narrative that all the girls have a preference. Now, here's the thing. Preference does not trump programming. As a matter of fact, most of your preferences and some of the stuff that y'all be saying out here in these streets is all about the programming. It's none of it about the actual, what you actually would prefer. It's what you would prefer in the context of a white supremacist world who has denigrated your beauty from the beginning. Let's just say it like that, from the beginning. So this is how I responded to sis, to our good sis. Now, here's the thing. The whole point is, this is not to tear her down. This is not to bash her. This is not to talk shit. This is to make sure that we are understanding that there's a history here with regard to texturism. Texturism doesn't stop existing just because more people so-called embrace their natural hair. Because let's be real, when we're talking manageability, what we're really saying is, I don't know how to manage it. And so I say that it's easier to manage a straight hair. It's not easier, it's different, right? It may take a little less time, but that's how well are you practiced in your hair texture. And for a lot of people, straightening their hair is a way that they feel like, number one, they can manage it better. But feelings are not facts, beloved. And what we're not going to do is replace the fact that you have learned and grown up with the dolls with the straight hair, that you've learned and you've grown up with seeing people with the straight hair, and then still say that this is more manageable than that. The fact of the matter is that a lot of naturals got into natural hair because they thought they was going to have hair like Tracy Ellis Ross and completely disregarded her parentage, right? They think that they're going to get that pattern, and they're not. And even today, a lot of y'all will heap tons and tons of product upon your tresses to make it behave in a way that it does not want to. You're not learning how to manage your hair. You're learning how to use products to create a completely different texture so that you can feel more enamored with yours. That is texturism. Quiet as it's kept, some of y'all are out here using texturizers and pretending that it is your natural hair texture. That is texturism. We still are upholding texturism, not only with our words and who we say has beautiful hair, but we are also upholding it with our behaviors, with how kinkier hair textures don't have value to some of y'all until it's longer. You despise the shrinkage. We have to sit in the why. And part of the reason for the why is because some of us have damaged self-esteem. Other people outside told us that we are not the shit, exactly as we are, without having to change a thing. And so we internalize the message. We believe it. And then we behave in a way as though to fix it. With heaps of product, with straightening our hair, with texturizers, etc. We do whatever we can. And we center people in the conversation whose hair and skin tone we wish we had, because they get to express self-esteem in a way that dark-skinned girls don't. When dark-skinned girls express self-esteem, we tell them they uppity. We try to return them to the place that we believe that they belong to and try to get them to zip it and be quiet. Now, here's the thing. I simply believe that homegirl was just ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean she ignorant. I mean that she simply did not know. Right? I don't know that she was intentionally reaching for disrespect. I think she found it, though. And I would also say this, that uninformed or misinformed does not mean or follow that the person was harmless. This was harmful because intent versus impact, right? Your intention doesn't mean that you didn't have a certain impact. And this was a harmful impact. It was dismissive of the experiences of people who are darker skinned and with kinkier hair than she has, who have been here on this planet just a little bit longer and had a different experience altogether. So on the one end, I want to applaud the natural hair movement for making it seem like, you know, that this conversation ain't never been a conversation, that no one has ever had to do this work. But also for someone who says that this is what they're into, and not recognizing that the Crown Act exists because certain women are not allowed to wear their natural tresses in the workplace. It's like, beloved, be silent. If you don't know, be quiet. So I want to end with this. It is okay to say you don't know. It is okay to be loud and wrong and to be corrected and then to change your mind according to the new information that you receive. I want to remind you that doubling down when you're wrong is a choice, right? Thoughts, feelings, behaviors, beloved. Your feelings don't make things facts. Your thoughts don't always facts either. The behavior that you can choose to engage in is to research, to do a little extra homework, and then correct yourself accordingly. Because when we know better, we have the opportunity to do better. All right, y'all, you know how I like it. Discourse, not.
It was the year of our Lord, 2013. I was a 29-year-old brand new executive director walking into the office of an elder college dean. And I had a fresh off the press, hot as hell, absolutely fire, brand new Rihanna pixie cut. And I walked in and she said, wow, how becoming. So professional. Don't do that other style again. Keep your hair just like this. That other style in question, yes, waist length 1B Kanekalon Senegalese twists. Perfect parts. Grew out to be even better than they were before. I knew I looked fire. Had sat for 14 hours to make sure that I did. And here she come telling me that my hair wasn't good enough for her. But you know what? If that happened to me in the year of our Lord 2013, then that is once again proof that everything Michelle Obama said was right. Now, we know that. We older millennials, Gen Xers, those who are elders and aunties to us, we know because we were there. We were there when we ain't have no natural hair care in the stores. Our mamas and our grandmamas were there in the 60s and the 70s when going natural and getting it natural, somebody was going to call you a lesbian because apparently in the Black community that was like worse to be than having short natural hair. Yeah, they weren't there, but we were. When we were getting the big chop in college and when out of college, the OG YouTubers came and they were telling us how to do our hair when hair typing wasn't even a thing. And they helped us understand that. And before the big beauty brands co-opted the curly movement, it was the natural movement. And we had to make our own butters and gels and creams. Until, you know, some of our aunties and our friends like the Miss Jessie sisters and Lisa from Carol's Daughter, they got into their kitchens and they made those concoctions and made sure that they were available at major retailers. So now homegirl can walk in with the hair that she's never had be called ugly and find products that are perfectly tailored to her hair. She wasn't there. We were. And I know that it was frustrating to watch her double down and other people double down that this idea of Eurocentric beauty standards is an absolute lie. But if we need to open up the schools, we need to be the schools. Yeah, I know. Gen Xers, older millennials, we got plenty to do. We're in the sandwich generation. We're raising children and parents. We lived through 9/11, multiple housing bubbles, a tech bubble. We lived through the 2000 craze, and we lived through a pandemic. I understand. We got plenty to do that don't involve teaching young people things that they can learn for free. However, you and I both know that that's not how we pass the word. In our culture, in our tradition, we don't rely solely on technology to make sure people get what they need. We teach the songs. We write the recipes on recipe cards. We make sure somebody stands next to us at the grill. We take somebody to the beauty supply store. We show people how to press their hair, how to braid their hair, how to slick down their edges, exactly where to get the bamboo earrings that won't turn your neck green. Right? We write the songs. We write the books. We pass the word. We teach the history. That's how we do. And we probably got very comfortable with our elders being the ones who passed the word to us. The sad part is that generation is slowing down and some of them are becoming our ancestors. More of them than, frankly, I think we're even ready to deal with right now. So if we are losing recipes, my fellow young aunties, it's because we are the ones who are not teaching them. We gonna have to be the schools. We gonna have to be the institutions. We are going to have to be each other's magnitude and bond. Shout out to Gwendolyn Brooks. So if she didn't know, it's because we ain't teach her. I know we tired, y'all, but...
Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim. and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all.
So she's saying this as she has her hair very straight. I wonder what white person she's trying to impress. I mean, at this point, I think Black people don't have to impress white people any longer. And I bring this up not to criticize her. I understand that, like, what our hair look like has been criticized for a long time, right? But ultimately, even if someone is criticizing you and calling you ugly, there is a mental breakdown that can happen, right? If you don't believe that you are beautiful. Like, no matter how much someone criticizes, like, your children, you are 10 toes down fighting for them, right? So I think in the same way, like, you just have to find beauty in yourself. Like, you have to tell yourself that, because I'm sure a lot of us, I've struggled with this, just not loving what my hair looks like, wanting it to look like other things. I've worn wigs, I've worn braids, I've worn I've even shaved all my hair off several times. I've done a lot of things. I think the work is really, it comes from within. It's not like the pressure that other people are putting on us as Black women. It's the pressure that we are putting on ourselves. How many times have you seen a woman with natural hair, maybe their sides are not laid, and hear Black women talking about how horrible they look? We are our own worst critics as Black women. Like, Michelle needs to throw off that wig. I don't know if it's a wig or if it's her own hair. Maybe it's her own hair. Whether if it's a wig or not, whatever, she needs to throw that thing off and wear her hair naturally that comes from her natural head, like she said. Stop looking at white people or any other people for your beauty standards, because you are your own beauty standard. You look in the mirror and say, this is beautiful. I love what I look like. And if you don't believe that, convince yourself. Okay? Convince yourself, because the truth is, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not looking up and saying, wow, my mother looks beautiful, my sisters look great, my cousins, the women who look like me look good, then you're always going to be looking at other people. And you got to find the beauty within yourself, and not just physical either. I think that beauty is not only skin deep, it goes far beyond that, and it's from the very soul of a person. You have to look at yourself and know that you are beautiful.
I watched this unfold on Threads, and Michelle Obama spoke no wrong. She was speaking to a real issue that affects the Black community, not just Black women, but also Black men as well, with regards to our hair and feeling the need and the pressure to conform to European beauty standards within regards to the hair as it naturally grows out of our head. Because what's not presentable about this? What's not presentable about my hair texture as it grows naturally out of my head? Why is that not professional enough for a job? You know? And the person that started this, she said that she had never experienced this. She's been in boardrooms in tech all over and spoken with VPs with her natural curly fro. But then I looked at her profile picture, and the curly fro that she had, that she was speaking about in her profile picture, was very loose curls. So there is a texturism that people aren't speaking about as well, because that loose, defined, curled look has become acceptable since we have done this work where we have pushed and got things like the Crown Act passed, so people didn't have to feel like they couldn't wear their hair as it naturally grows outside of their head, you know? But there's also this thing that loose curls are more acceptable, but tight coils, like, you know, these tight coils, frizz, this isn't really frizz. This is just, my hair is not defined. I don't have any defining product in it. It's just my natural hair picked out. There's no defining. I haven't defined my curls. I shouldn't have to define my curls in order for my hair that grows naturally out of my head to be acceptable or feel like it's presentable or feel like it's professional. This is my hair. It should be professional how it naturally grows. A natural style is presentable and professional and formal enough to wear for any occasion. If I want to pin it back, you know, pin part of it back, pin this part of it back and just wear it like that, hell, that should be good too. You know, so why are we having these conversations like we don't understand what the issue is? And why are we attacking Michelle Obama for it and not understanding what the issue is? Many people tagged India Ari into the conversation because, of course, she had that song about I Am Not My Hair, and the girl didn't even know who India Ari was. That just gives you an idea of how the younger generation is losing the history and the reasoning behind the things that we do and why we do them. And it's good that they feel confident. It's good that they have never had a job where that has told them, okay, you can't wear your hair like that. You can't wear braids. If you wear braids, they have to be finished all the way down or they have to be curled. Or, you know, you can't wear your natural hair like that. We prefer you wear your hair straight. You're lucky you've never had a job like that. Or you've had to ask the question, can I wear braids to work? Because braids aren't considered a professional style. They're considered like a vacation style. If you've never had those issues at a professional workplace, then congrats to you. Congrats to you. I know I have. I don't have them anymore because I don't work at places like that. I make sure that I work for companies that don't care about how I wear my hair. And I live in a state that fortunately passed the Crown Act to where they can't say anything about how I wear my hair.
So I saw a couple videos of men talking about Michelle Obama. You know, the recent pictures of her that has come out, and clearly she's not wearing any makeup or anything on her face, and she has not gotten any cosmetic surgery done. It looks like she has not basically done anything to her face, and she's just aging naturally. And men have literally been making videos, black men, co-signing the trans rumors and calling her Big Mike. And I'm just like, clearly she's not a man. If she was truly born male, it would have come out. You don't think the public has seen her birth certificate? There's literally pictures of her when she was a baby, dressed up like a little baby girl. So clearly she's not a man, but why do y'all only do this to like black women? Clearly she has very prominent features. She has strong Afrocentric features, and those features can be seen on men or women, but every time it's on a woman, people automatically try to call them trans or say that they're a man, and it's just so weird. Or if a black woman is buff, because when Michelle Obama was first lady, it was clear that she worked out because, you know, her body was toned, and they were calling her a man for being toned, a man for her facial features. This lady has not caught a break since she's been in the public eye. And it's crazy because it is natural. I don't know if you guys know what a 60-year-old woman looks like, but look at your auntie, look at your mom. I know she has a couple chin hairs. Some of you men that are talking about Michelle Obama, your wife literally has to wax her mustache weekly. So what are you talking about? And it just makes me sad because it's our own people perpetuating this disgusting rumor. Like, it's one thing for the racist people to do it because they'll say anything to bring black people down. But when it's your own people encouraging these disgusting rumors, it's just very disappointing. And even if you do not find her attractive, why do you have to make videos disparaging her like that? Like, this is a former first lady that we're talking about. Because there's plenty of white women, especially when they get older, who have strong faces and strong features and nobody calls them men. Like, there's women of all races with strong features, but it's only the black woman that gets called a man. It's sickening. And in my opinion, Michelle Obama doesn't even look like a man. She just looks like a woman who is 60 years old. Like, what do y'all expect her to look like? And we all know that anybody who has been in the White House, whether you are the president, vice president, first lady, you are going to go in looking one way and you are going to come out the White House looking 10 years older. Just look at every former president. But we have to do better. Like, it's sickening. And then there was like a lot of black women in the comments also encouraging this behavior and calling her Big Mike.
Forever First Lady Michelle Obama talking about she not going to that inauguration and she not going to give us an explanation as to why is chef's kiss exactly the way black women should be starting the year and the next 4 years at that, moving forward. Because why? I don't want to be over there with them people. Barack's going? What that got to do with me? He do what he want to do. He grown. Okay? And it's really the not giving an explanation part that I love the most, because people think that just because you are healed or healing and in a lifestyle of healing, that means that you're going to go for everything. Why would I do that? I don't even like those people. Why would I be over there with them? I did it once. I'm not going to do it twice. A lot of y'all think that just because you're healing or you're saved or whatever, that you have to be complicit and compliant with everybody else's expectations of you. Just because you are saved does not mean that you gonna go for everything. It is okay to say no. Remember, we're not nice anymore. We're kind, we're compassionate, we're caring, not nice. Nice means that when they say jump, you say how high. When they say, oh, I need you to do this, please, sister, ma'am, girl, hun, sis, daughter, you're ready to go. Black women, we said we're resting, right? Let our forever First Lady Michelle Obama be the first example of how we're going to do this thing moving forward. Okay? By the way, RIP to TikTok. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on the camera app. Okay, I have been on there almost 10 years. I'm not going to let go of that following. I may be open to doing some of the other things, but we'll see. I pray about it because, baby, auntie don't want all that social media. Okay? All right.
Hey, everybody. I'm on, this is a little bit of a rant, so I'm going to tell you. Something just came up in my feed of this woman, this Caucasian woman, really ranting about Michelle Obama's warped sense of racism about black women's hair. And that all women deal with their hair, and black women, are no exception or don't really have issues. So let me just say this, okay? I've been black my whole life. When I was a kid, in order for us to be accepted in schools, they had to press our hair with a hot comb and grease, and or put a straightener in it that burned and would leave your scalp white. Because if you went in your natural state, people made fun of you, they laughed at you. In my book, Does My Voice Matter? I have a whole segment in one of my chapters about something that was traumatizing for me when my hair got wet. This is what I want to say. I love wearing my natural hair. And I love that black women have finally gotten to the place where they were like, oh, you know what? I want to be me. I want to express myself in creativity in my hair. And the states that have created laws, called the Crown Acts, to discriminate against how we show up with our natural hair in public, don't discount that. This is what I want to say. Black, white, red, green, I don't care what color you are. You deserve to bring your natural beauty to the planet. And anybody who, wants to change their looks with their hair, hey, I got wigs. I've had braids. I've had locks. I've had a whole bunch of stuff. And it's great. But what your hair looks like does not define you, or how brilliant you are, or how powerful you are, or how dynamic you are. People, get over it. Okay? Many blessings.
It's very interesting that a president's wife, or rather, let me just say Michelle Obama, right? Because even she's her own self without Obama. She's a human being without him, right? But they are two. When people get married, they become one. So me listening to her, I'm listening to Barack Obama, I'm listening to a champion with whom became a big symbol of hope to the black people when he became president. We know the long history. I always talk about how ironical it was that the enslaved became the master of the enslavers. That's Barack Obama, right? So listening to Michelle Obama, she's encouraging, and she's breaking borders. She's breaking rules. She's breaking all those Republican bubble of racism, because I personally think that Republicans are more of racist. You see, they support making America great again, and the premises of making America great again are built on structures of racism, are built on racist ideologies, right? Because you can't make America great again if you do not spill blood, or you do not break families, or you do not break unions, right? So Michelle Obama, she's fighting for the Democrats, and she's also fighting not just for political parties, but for the black people in general. And that is the part which caught me about hair, and black women can't smell and can't swim. Sorry, black women can't swim because of the hair. I'm telling you, you have a very beautiful hair. You see, this is my hair. These are very good hair. Naturally, it is always curled, black people's hair, and that's why if you see if a black person intermarries with a white person, the children always have these beautiful curled hair like the ones of the Africans. So it's a mixture of the two. It's a combo. It's not a straight. It tells you how strong your genes are. You see, a black gene is not a dominant gene. It's not a recessive gene. It is a dominant gene. But a white gene is always recessive, right? I hope that the message of Michelle Obama has been a message of encouragement to you. If you find value, subscribe. I'll surely appreciate. And see